Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the class on operation research. In this class, we're going to discuss the concept of LPP. In the concept of LPP, linear programming approach, we have learned about how we can construct a linear programming problem, set of problems, whenever we have given the condition. So once we have the set of conditions with us, so that conditions can be given in the form of a problem, descriptive problem. So we can read the problem, we can note it down the important conditions from the problem, and then we can formulate an LPP equation based the given set of conditions. And once we have constructed the LPP equation from that given set of conditions, then we can solve to get the answer. Certain time, once we have the set of LPP equations with us, we can solve the problem either by graphical method or we can solve it by simplex methods. Again, it depends on us how we want to approach the problem. So whenever we have a problem, we can solve it by graphical, we can solve it by simplex, or we can solve it by MS Excel solver function. We can do that. So only thing is that whenever we use graphical method, we cannot use graphical method if we have more than two variables. So if the problem consists of only two variables, so we can solve it very easily by the graphical method. And then if we want, we can validate our answer by using simplex method. So guys, if you see this problem, so this problem, if you see, the objective function is maxima of z is equal x1 plus 2x2, and the constraint, three constraints are given to us, that 4x2 that should be less than or equal to 12. Next constraint is 4x1 plus x2, it should be less than or equal to 8. Third constraint is 4x1 minus x2, that should be less than or equal to 8. And then x1 and x2 should be greater than or equal. So these constraints are given to us. Now, based upon this constraint, we need to solve this problem. We need to find the value of x1 and x2. So x1 and x2 are basically our decision variable. So we need to find that value and x2, that values which can probably make equation satisfiable. So that is what we need to do. So once we can want to solve this problem by simplex method or by graphic by MS Excel solver function, we can solve them very easily. Okay, so I believe you have understood this. Now, talking about LPP equation, if we want to solve this LPP equation by using simplex method, we need to very sure that our objective function should always be maximization. So we need to make sure our objective function is always maximization. That part we need to be sure about that. And the constraint what we see, that should be less than or equal to. So constraint what you have in the given problem, that should be less than or equal to. Okay. So in case if your objective function is not maximization, we'll convert that minima matrix, that minima objective matrix, in convert them into maximum maximization matrix by changing its sign. So in case if your objective function, suppose for example, is minimization of z is equal to 3x1 plus 2x2. So what you will do, right? You will convert the minima into maxima by changing its sign. So the maxima would be minus 3x1. It would be minus 3x1 minus 2x2. Yeah, right. So you need to make sure that part. Okay, you need to make sure that you can convert the minima objective function into maximum objective function by changing its. Now that if we are trying to solve the problem by simplex method, the constraint should always be less than or equal. If you have greater than or equal to constraint, then you cannot introduce slack variable there. Okay, I believe you remember, right? I think last two classes we are talking about simplex method, and in the case of simplex method, whenever we are trying to solve, I have told you, depending upon the number of constraint what we have, depending upon that, we'll introduce that many slack variables. So if you see in this problem, you have, if you see in this problem, you have three constraints, no, three less than equal to constraint. So what we'll do to convert this given model into standard form, what we'll do, we'll introduce three slack variables. Okay, We'll introduce three slack variable into this equation. Let those are S1, S2, S3. Okay, in some books, they may write X3, X4, X5 also. Okay, so please be prepared with that part. Okay, so the slack variable, you can put any symbol. So since 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 there are since there are since there are three constraints, since there are three constraints in the given in the since there are three constraints in the given LPP problem, since there are three constraints in the given LPP problem, so in order so in order to convert so in order to convert in order to convert inequality based constraint, so in order to convert inequality based constraint to linear equation linear equation, we'll introduce three slack variable. We'll introduce three slack variables. Let they are S1, S2, such that those values, those slack variable what you introduce, they are greater than or equal to 0. So we introduce three slack variable here. We slack variable into the given LPP problem. Use slack variable because there are three constraints are there, and we want to convert the inequality based constraint into equality based constraint. So we'll introduce three slack variable. Let those are S1, S2, S3, such that each slack variable should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, you understood this, right? So we'll introduce three slack variable. Let S1, S2, S3, where the S1, S2, S3, they should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so now I hope you understood. Now writing the writing the given writing the given LPP problem. Now writing the given LPP problem. Now writing the given LPP problem in standard form. So if I'm trying to write this given LPP problem in the standard form, if I'm trying to write down the given LPP problem in the standard form, I'll write maxima of z is equal to 3x1 plus 2x2. Okay, subject to, I'll write more, but I'll write later on. Subject to, what is the first constraint? 4x1 plus 3x2, that should be less than equal to 12. So we'll write the constraint called 4x1 plus 3x2 plus s1 equal to 12. The second constraint you'll write is 4x1 plus x2 plus s2 is equal to 8. The third constraint you will write is 4x1 minus x2 plus s3 is equal to 8. Okay, so because you introduce three constraints, you will write 0 s1 in objective function plus 0 s2 plus 0 s3. Okay, where non-negative restriction, where x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, they should be greater than or equal to 0. So this is how we write the given LPP problem in the standard form. Clear, everyone? This way we can write this given LPP problem in the standard form. So once we write them in the standard form, so if you want, you can show the same thing in the matrix form. So if you want, you can show them in the matrix form. This is x1, 2, then s1, then s2, then s3. X1 is 4, then 4, then 4, then 3, then 1, then -1, then this is 0. This is 1. S1 is 1 again, first equation. S2, S3 is 0. Then here S1 is 0, S2 is 1, S3 is 0. Here S2 is 0, S3 is 1. Then do this X1, S1, S2, S3 is equal to the RHS. Your RHS is 12, 8, 8. In the matrix form, you can write it like this. Done, everyone. So once you're written them in this algebraic form, now what you'll do, you'll start solving this by using iteration table. Clear, everyone? So here you can write x1, x2, s1, s2, s3. You want, you can draw a line like this. Fine. So what you do once you've written that, at the top of that put coefficients. So you will call that Ci. Put the coefficient of that x1, x2, x3. That is 3. You can see their coefficients. You can see the coefficient 3, 2, 0, 0, 0. So 3, 2, 0, 0, 0. So 3, 2, 0, 0, 0. You can write their coefficient there. Okay. Now when we solve the problem, we always solve the problem with with the with the dummy variables or slack variables. So here I write S1, S2, S3. Their coefficients are 0, 0. And you simply write down the coefficient values, what you get equation wise. So you can see the first set, first row, that is 4, 3, 1, 0, 0. that is 43100, that is 43100. Okay. Then the second set of equation, if you see, that is 41010, that is 41010. Okay, and the third set is 4 minus 1001, 4 minus 100. The third row is 4 minus 1001. The third row is 4 minus 100. Clear, everyone? So you can, the CI values which you get, you can see here. You can see the CI values. The CI values what you get, you can see here. Those are basically the coefficients of the objective function. You can see them. Okay. Then you get this now. You can write RHS. What is your RHS? RHS here. Your RHS is basically 1288. 1288. Theta we'll find later on. Fine. So many books and all, they call this as an initial table. Many books and all, they'll call this as an initial table. So once you have this initial table, now this is CI, then I'll find ZI. So the ZI values, So what is ZI value? ZI value in the initial table is always 0, 1. The ZI values is only in the first table, the initial table, when you will find the ZI value is always 0. Why that is always 0? Because what we have to do to find the ZI value, we need to multiply the 0 into the elements which are inside this table. 0 into 4 plus 0 into 4 plus 0 into 4. So that would be 0 only. The next one is 0 into 3 plus 0 into 1 plus 0 into minus 1. That would be 0 only. So I hope you understood. So your CI value was 3. If you want, I'll write it down again. The CI values. If you see your CI values, your CI values were 3, then 0, 0, 0. Your CI minus ZI value was, that is 3 minus 0, 3, 2 minus 0, 2, then 0, 0, 0. So out of all CI minus ZI, out of all CI minus ZI, pick that CI minus ZI which is the largest one. So out of all CI minus ZI, pick that CI minus ZI which is largest one. So the largest one of all CI minus ZI is for the variable called x1. So it means now x1 is gonna enter into the solution. If x1 is gonna enter into the solution, then it means will either replace x1 will either replace s S2 or S3. So how to identify that? For that, we'll find the theta. So theta of this would be 12 divided by 4 means 3. Theta of this would be 12 divided by, theta of this would be, right, switch off your cameras and all. So theta of this would be 12 divided by 4 means 3. This would be 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. And again 8 divided by 4 equal to 2. So if you see, S2 and S3 both having the of theta. So both S2 and S3 both are having theta value equal to 2. So you can take anyone. You can take anyone, and you made it to get replaced. Okay, out of S2, S3, you can take anyone, doesn't matter. So I just randomly took S3. So means I'll make S3 to exit. Okay, and S3 will exit and S3 will be replaced by X1. Clear, everyone? I'll make S3 to exit and this S3 replaced by X1. Done, everyone? So how will we decide that which variable is leaving the solution? For that, we'll find the theta. So once we find the theta, so whichever variable corresponding to which the theta value is minimum, it means that variable will exit the solution. So out of S1, S2, S3, so which one is exiting the solution? S3 will exit the solution. Are you getting this, everyone? So for that, we'll find the theta. So how will we find the theta? We'll divide the RHS by some column value. How will I decide that column value? That depends upon Ci minus Zi. So we'll see which variable has the maximum Ci minus Zi. So it means that variable is entering into the solution. So the whichever variable is entering into the solution, so the corresponding column for that variable will consider as a constant. Okay, and by dividing those values from the RHS, we'll find the theta, and whichever having the minimum theta, that will exit the solution. It means S3 is exiting the solution. So if S3 is exiting the solution, if S3 is exiting the solution, then it is called as pivot element. Then this is called as pivot element. So here 4 is the pivot element when we'll determine the new values. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Anyone any doubt? Anyone any doubt? Once you find the pivot element, once you find the pivot element, once we find the pivot element, so now we know that we have S1, we have S2, and then we have X1. And we know that S3 is being replaced by X1. We know that the S3 is being replaced by the X1. We know that the S3 is being replaced by the X1. Clear, everyone? We know that the S3 is being replaced by the X1. So how will you find the value of X1? So for to find the value of X1, you know your pivot element, right? What is your pivot element? 4, right? You know your pivot element. Everyone, you knows your pivot element, right? Your pivot element is 4, right? So divide all the elements, divide all the values of this row S3 by the 4 to get the new values of X1. Abhishek, what is K1? K1 is the variable which is corresponding to both of them. The variable which is corresponding to both. Here X1 is entering into the solution. X1 is entering into the solution and S3 is leaving the solution. So the value which is point of intersection between X1 and S3, that is your pivot element or K1. So that value we called as pivot element or keyword. Your value is 4. So once you get the value 4, so 4 is called pivot element or K1 or constant, whatever you can say. So now I can find the value of X1. So to find the value of X1, what I'll do, whatever is my pivot element, I'll divide all the values of that row by that value. So 4 is my pivot element. So 4 divided by 4, 1. Minus 1 divided by 4, minus 1 by 4. Then 0 divided by 4, 0. 0 divided by 4, 0. Then 1 divided by 4, 1. 1 divided by 4 is 1 by 4. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So with this, With this, you will find the value of x1. Clear, everyone? So once you get the value of x1, I can find the values of other variable. I can find the value of s2. So how to find the value of s2? So write down the old values of s2: 4, 1, 0, 1, 0, 8. Write down the old values of s2. Write down the old values of s2 and then write down the new element. The new element means the value of x1, what you get, that is 1 minus 1 by 4, then 0, then 0, then 1 by 4, and then 2. Then everyone, new element is basically the new values of x1 what you get. That is your new element. Old element means what you are trying to find, the new values of s2, right? So s2 is not replaced. S2 was there, s2 is still there, but we will not write the same values of s2. We'll change the values of s2. So that is what we are trying to find here. So what is the new values of s2? What is the new values of s2? So for that, we'll use the formula. What formula we'll use? We'll use a formula called old element minus constant into new element. So what is your constant here? Constant, this for s2, this is constant. S2, this is your constant. So constant here is 4. Constant 4. So the constant what you use here is 4. So you actually were using the formula called old element minus 4 into new element. So old element is 4 minus 4 into 1. That's 0. The next one is 1 minus 1 minus 4 into minus 1 by 4 plus 4 into 1 by 4. This will be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. The next one is 0 only. Next one is 1 only. You know that because this is 0. Then this is minus 0 minus 4 into 1 by 4. This will be minus 1 only. Then this would be 8 minus 8 minus 4 into 2. That would be 0 only. Clear? Now write down this value. 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0, 1 minus 1, 0, 1 minus 1, 0. Reshma, it is correct only. 410108. Clear everyone? Can I find the value of S1? So I believe you understood this. Once we get this, now we can we find the value of S2. We found the value of S2. Now we can find the value of S1. So what is the old element of S1? So the old element of S1 is 4, 3, 1, 0, 0, 12. Okay. Then the constant is again 4 only. Constant is 4 only. New element. The here the new element is always x1 only. Don't get confused here. So the new element is 1 minus 1 by 4, then 0, then 0, then 1 by 4, and then 2. And the constant is 4. So you will use a formula S1 old element. So old element minus 4 into new element. 4 minus 4 into 1, that will be 0. Then this is 3 minus 4 into minus 1 by 4. This is 3 plus 4 into 1 by 4 is 1 is equal to 4. This is equal to 1, 4 into 0, that is equal to 1. Then this is 0. 0 minus 4 into 1 by 4 is minus 1. Then this is 12 minus 4 into 2, that is 4. Clear everyone? Now write down the values here. 0, 0, then 4, 1, 0, 4, 1, 0, 4, 1, then 0, then minus 1, then 4. Clear everyone? Anyone, any doubt? So once we find this value, once we found this value, we're done with this calculation. We are done with this calculation. Now we'll find the ZI value. We'll find the ZI value. So the ZI value, how will you find? Very simple. 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0 plus 3 into 1. That would be 3. Next one is 0 into 4 plus 0 into 2 plus 3 into minus 1 by 4. So you'll get minus 3 by 4. Then 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 3 into 0. This is 0. Then this will be 0. And this will be 3 by 4. This will be equal to 6. So once we find this Zi value, we have Ci values. Ci values are 32000. Ci values are 32000. Then I'll find Ci minus Zi. Then we'll find Ci minus Zi. That is 3 minus 3 0. 2 minus minus 3 by 4. So 2 plus 3 by 4 means 11 by 4. 2 plus 3 by 4, 11 by 4. This is 0. This is 0 minus 3 by 4. This is Ci minus Zi value. So when you see this Ci minus Zi will value, we'll keep solving the problem till the time all Ci minus Zi is either 0 or negative. Here you can see the significant value of Ci minus Zi. It means now it will enter into the solution, which correspond to what? X2. So it means now X2 will enter into the solution. So if X2 will enter into the solution, so if X2 will enter into the solution, then X2 will either place S1 or either S2 or either X1. Okay, but you will not able to replace anything which is having negative sign. Here X1 you can see negative sign. So we very sure that X1 is not gonna get replaced. To find X2 will replace whom? S1 or S2. So for that I will find theta. So theta for this would be 4 divided by 4 means 1. Theta this would be 0 divided by 2, 0. And this will be null because any number divided by negative thing not considered. So the minimum value of theta here is 0. So means which variable is exiting the solution, which variable will exit the solution is S2. So S2 will exit and X2 will enter. Clear everyone? Anyone, any doubt? Done everyone. So now once you understood this, now you'll write S1 0 coefficient, X2 the coefficient of X2 is how much? That is 2. X2 coefficient is 2 and X1 coefficient is 3. Done everyone. Okay. Okay, yeah, that is done. Then so means now in place of S2, no, S2 is leaving, no, and in place of S2, X2 is coming, right? So what is the pivot element, guys, for you? What would be your pivot element? Your pivot element will be 2. Can you understand this? 2 will be your pivot element. So this is your pivot element K1. This would be your pivot element, the point of intersection between the row and column. So X for Xavier, X2 is entering and S2 is leaving. So S is for Santa Claus. So S2 is exiting and X. So the point of intersection of row and column, that is your pivot element. So the 2 is your pivot element. So to find the values of x2, which is your new element, how will you find 0 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2, 0 divided by 2, 1 divided by 2, minus 1 divided by 2, and 0 divided by 2. This is your new element. Clear, everyone? Now, once we get this x2 value, simple, whatever is your pivot element, Rajendra, divide it all by all the values of the row. This is what we are doing from beginning. So whatever is your pivot element, S2 is being replaced by X2. So how will you find the value of X2? Divide all the elements of the row of S2 by the pivot element. 0 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2, 0 divided by 2, 1 divided by 2, minus 1 divided by 2. So once you get the value of x2, I can find the value of x1 and s1. So old element for x1, if I'm trying to find the x1 value was 1 minus 1 by 4, then 0, then 0, then 0, then 1 by 4, and then 2. This was the value of x1. Okay, now new element, which is your x2, values would be 0, 1, 0, 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and 0. Now, to find the value of x1, I want the new values. I want the x1 new values, right? I want the new values of x1, right? So how will I find the new values of x1? By using the formula called old element minus what is the constant for x1? On x1, what is the constant? X1 constant. So x1, the constant is minus 1 by 4. So old element minus of 1 by 4 into new element. So this is x1 is equal to old element plus 1 by 4 into new element. Clear, everyone? So this would be 1 minus 1 by 4 into 0. This would be 1. This would be minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 into 1. This would be 0. This is minus. Clear? So this would be 0 only. 0, 0 plus minus 0, anything would be 0 only. This would be 0 minus 1 by 4, 1 by 2. So this would be 1 by 8. Then this is 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4, then minus 1 by 2. So this is 1 by 4 minus 1 by 8. This is 8. This is 2 minus 1, 1 by 8. This would be 2 minus 1 by 4 into 0. This would be 2. This value, these values are, I can write down this value. These values are 1, 0, 0, then 1 by 8, then 1 by 8, and then 2. I found the value of x1, right? So that is 1, that is 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1 by 8, 1 by 8, and 2. Done, everyone? So once we're done with this, now we can find the value of S1. Now we can find the value of S1. Now I can find the value of S1. S1 old element. S1 old element, that is 0, 4, 1, 0, minus 1, 4. Constant is 4. Constant is 4. Now x1 is a new element. X1 is a new element. So x1 is a new element. So that is 1. No, no, not x1. A new element would be x2, right? X2 is a new element. So x2 values are 0, 1, 0, 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and then 0. 0, 1, 0, 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, 0. And constant here is 4. So you can use a formula, old element minus 4 into new element. This will be 0, 0 and 0. This will be 0 only. 4 minus 4 into 1. And this will be 1 only, because this is 0 this side. This is 0 minus 4 into 1 by 2. This would be minus 2. Then this is minus 1, minus 1, minus minus plus minus 4, minus 1 by 2. This is minus 1 plus 4 by 2 means 2. 1. This is 4 1. You can write down its value. This would be 0, 0, 1, then minus 2, 1, and then 4. Clear, everyone? Anyone, any doubt? Clear, anyone have any doubt? So now what I can do, I can find the Zi value. I can find the Zi values. I can find the Zi values. Zi values. I can find Zi value would be nothing but 0 in 0 into 0 plus 2 into 0 plus 3 into 1. So that would be 3. Then 0, then 0 into 0 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 0. So this would be 2. Correct? That would be correct. That would be. Then third one, it would be 0 into 1 plus 2 into 0 plus 3 into 0. That would be 0 only. Then next one, it would be 0 into minus 2 plus 2 into 1 by 2 means 1 plus 3 into 1 by 8. So what will you will get the value? So this is 2 into 1 by 2 means 1. 2 into 1 by 2 is 1 and 3 into 1 by 8 is 3 by 8. So 1 plus 3 by 8, how much you'll get? 11 by 8. Correct? Then next one is 0 into 1, that is 0. 2 into minus 1 by 2. 2 into minus 1 by 2 means minus 1. 0 into 1 plus 2 into minus 1 by 2, that is minus 1, plus 3 into 1 by 8, that is 3 by 8. So that is minus 5 by 8. Here, this would be 6. CI values, you know, CI values. CI values. So CI values are, if you see, that is 32000, 32000. Then Ci minus Zi. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0 minus 11 by 8. This is 5 by 8. Clear, everyone? So if you notice, we'll get the optimal solution if all your Ci minus Zi, that should be greater than, that would be 0 or negative value. But here if you see 5 by 8, it corresponds to what? S3. So that is positive. Rest others are 0 and negative. It means still we did not get the optimal solution. It means what? It means now S3 will enter into the solution. It means now S3. Now S3 will enter into the solution. Now if S3 will enter into the solution, so S3 will either replace S1 or X2 or X3. So for that, what we'll do, we'll find theta. We'll find the theta. So theta of this will be 4 divided by 1. This will be 4. 0 divided by negative number. That would be 0 only. 0 divided by anything, that would be negative. But normally, because this is negative number, so whenever negative number comes inside the iteration table, we normally do not make it to participate. We leave it. Will not make it to participate, and this would be by 1 by 8. So this would be 16. So it means out of the theta value, which is the minimal theta value, that is S1. It means S1 will exit the solution. It means S1 will exit the solution and S1 will be replaced by S3. Can you understand this? So what would be your pivot element? So your pivot element would be what? Pivot element will be 1. This would be your pivot element. This would be your pivot element, K1. Can you understand this, guys? So it's because when we saw the Ci minus Zi, when we saw the Ci minus Zi here, the Ci minus Zi, it was not zero or negative. For S3, it was positive. It means that S3 is going to enter into the solution. S3 is going to enter into the solution. So it will either replace S1 or X2 or X1. So which one it will replace, that it will, that depends upon the theta. So we found the theta, and the theta we got as a minimum value is 4. So it means S3 is going to replace the S1. Clear? So once we understood that the S3 is going to replace the S1, once we got to know that S3 is going to replace the S1. So in place of S1, I'll write S3 having 0 coefficient. Then X2 coefficient is 2. Then X1, the coefficient is 3. So now the pivot element is 1. So divide everything of S1 by 1. So if anything divide by 1, there will not be any change. Anything if you divide by 1, there won't be any change. It will be like this. No change. Clear, everyone? Now what I'll do, I'll find the new values of X2 and X1. So now I'll find the new values of X2 and X1. So the old element, write down the old values of X2. So suppose if I want to do calculation of X2, the old values of X2 is 0, 1, 0, then 1 by 2, then minus 1 by 2, 0, 1, 0, 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and 0. These are the old elements. And new element is like the S3 value what you got. Those are new element. Those are 0, 0, 1, minus 2, 1, 4. Okay. Now once you got this, you got X2, you got S3. Okay. Then what's it? You got X2, you got S3, then what's it? Then see the pivot element of X2. What is the pivot element of X2, sir? Pivot element of X2 is minus 1 by 2. So the pivot element of X2 is minus 1 by 2. So we use the formula called old element minus of 1 by 2 into new element. This would be 0 1, 0 with anything is 0 only. This would be 1 only. This would be 1 by 2 minus minus plus, and new element is 1 only. That would be 1 by 2. Then this would be 1 by 2, then minus 1 by 2, and then 2. Okay, so minus 2, not 2. Minus 2. Ultimately, you'll get minus sign. 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 into 2. 1. You'll get minus 1 by 2. Then minus 1 by 2. Then minus of minus 1 by 2 into 1. So that would be 0. That would be 0 only. Then it is 0 minus 1 by 2 into 4. That would be 2. So the X2 value if you want to find, that is 0, 1, 1 by 2, then minus 1 by 2, then 0, then 2. Then any doubt, anyone? Clear, everyone? Now we found the value of x2. Now we'll find, so is now like the way I found the value of x2, I can find the value of x1. I can find the value of x1. I can write old element x1 old values. One zero zero 1/8 1/8 then 2. So now new element is what? New element is S3. Now new element is S3. New element is S3, right? New element S1 was replaced by S3. So that is 0 0 1 minus 2 1 4. Then if you see the constant, this is what x1, no? X1. So x1, what is the constant for x1? The constant for x1, what is the constant for x1? The constant for x1 is 1/8. Can you understand this? The constant for x1 is 1/8. Can you understand this? A3, the constant for x1 would be 1/8. Clear, everyone? Okay, so you'll use the formula old element minus 1/8 of new element. Okay, so use this formula. So this is 0, so that will remain 0. Okay, this will be 0 minus 1/8 into 1. This would be minus 1/8. This would be minus 1/8. Okay, that is positive, right? That is positive 1/8. No, so 0 minus 1/8 into 1, then 1/8 1/8 minus 1/8 into minus 1 minus 2. So we'll get 1 by 8 plus 2 by 8. We will get 3 by 8. This is 1 by 8 minus 1 by 8 into 1. This is 0. So this is 2 minus 1 by 8 into 4. This is 2 minus 1 by 2. This is 3 by 2. 1 0 minus 1 by 8, then 3 by 8, then 0, then this is 3 by 2. Clear, everyone? So once you understood this, so now I'll find the Zi value. Zi value. Now I can find the Zi value. Guys. I can find the Zi value. So Zi value for this would be 0 into 0 plus 2 into 0 plus 3 into 1. So that would be 3. Then this would be 0 into 0 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 0. This would be 2. Then next one, it would be 0 into 1, 0, 2 into 1 by 2, 1, 2 into 1 by 2 means 1, 2 into 1 by 2 means what? 1 plus 3 into minus 1 by 8, 3 into minus 1 by 8, that would be minus 3 by 8, that would be 5 by 8. Clear, everyone? Then next one, it would be 0 into minus 2 plus 2 into minus 2 into minus 1 by 2. 2 into minus 1 by 2, that would be minus 1. 2 into minus 1 by 2, that would be minus 1. And 3 into 3 by 8, that would be 9 by 8. 9 by 8 minus 1, that would be 1 by 8. And then this is 0. This would be 9 by 2. This would be 9 by 2 plus 4. This would be 17 by 2. 4 plus 9 by 2. Done, everyone? Now what you can do, you can you directly subtract, or because maybe you don't know CI values. CI values are 32000. Those are 32000. You can find CI minus ZI value. This is 00 minus 5 by 8 minus 1 by 80. All your CI minus ZI is either 0 or negative. Okay, means now you got the optimal solution. If you get the optimal solution, means the value of x1 is 3 by 2. The value of x2 is 2, and the value of z is equal to 17 by 2. So you got your optimal solution. Here, anyone have any doubt? Anything you want me to repeat? Just multiply and add, Ganga. 0 into 0 plus 2 into 0 plus 3 into 1. Just multiply and add. You want me to repeat that, Ganga? So 0, see this, Ganga, let me change the color. 0 into 0 plus 2 into 0. So both are 0 only. 3 into 1, you will get 3. Next one is 0 into 0 plus into 1 plus 3 into 0. You'll get 2. Then third one, 0 into 1, 0. 2 into 1 by 2. 2 into 1 by 2 means 1. Then 3 into minus 1 by 8. 3 into minus 1 by 8 means minus 3 by 8. So 1 minus 3 by 8. 1 minus 3 by 8 means 5 by 8. Any doubt, anyone? So once we get the solution, then we can solve the same problem by graphical method also. If we are trying to solve this problem by graphical method, then what we'll do, we'll focus on the constraint. Okay. So if we are trying to solve the problem by graphical method, so what we'll do, we'll focus on the constraint, assume that constraint is having equality sign. So I'll write the first linear equation, 4x1 plus 3x2 equal to 12. So here I'll put, if suppose x1 is 0, then x2 will be equal to 4. Okay, and similarly, if x2 is 0, then x1 will be equal to 3. So I'll get the coordinates. Similarly, the second equation, if I see, that is 4x1 plus x2 equal to 8. So here put x1 0, then x2 is 8. And if I put x2 0, then x1 is 2. So I'll get the second coordinate. Third equation, the third equation is 4x1 minus x2 equal to 8. I hope you remember this. All we have discussed graphical method, right? So what we do whenever we are trying to solve the problem by graphical method, we ignore the inequality sign of the given constraint, and then we find the coordinates. We try to assume that is a linear equation, and we try to determine the coordinate of that linear equation through which we can ultimately draw a line, because if we can connect 2 points, we can get a line. So 4x1 minus x2 equal to 8. If x1 is 0, then x2 would be minus 8. Okay, if x1 is 0, x2 will be minus 8, and if x2 is 0, and then x1 would be 2. So if x2 is 0, then x1 would be 2. So once we get these coordinates, so what we do once we get this coordinate, so your coordinates are 0, 4, 3, comma 0, 0, comma 8, 2, comma 0, 0, comma minus 8, and 2, comma 0. Use these coordinates. By using these coordinates, we can draw the line. So the maximum value of this is your x1. I hope you remember. Horizontal axis is x1 and your vertical axis is x2. So you can see this horizontal axis, that is 0. This is 0, 1. Then you have 2. Then you have 3. Then you have 4, like this. And your vertical axis, if you see your vertical axis, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 6, then this is 7, this is 7, this is 8. Okay, and your y-axis is 0, 0, this is 0, this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, then minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. You can see this. So now what I'll do, I'll draw a line on this. The first one, the first one, the first line, the first one is 0, comma 4. 0, comma 4 means x1 is 0, and x1 is 0, x2 is 4, and 3, comma 0. 3, comma 0 means x1 is 3, x1 is 3, x2 is 0. You understood, right? On this draw a line. On this draw a line. Once you draw this line, you get this line, right? So once you get this line, I believe you know the region. No? What is your region? You know x1, x2 are positive. X1 and x2 is positive, and the sign is less than or equal to. This would be the region. I hope everyone understands this part very well. So I'm not just plotting this. So I hope you'll just keep this in mind. Feasible region. If the sign would have been greater than or equal to, then your region would be this. Then the next one is 0, 8, 0, 8. So let me change the color. 0, 8, 0, 8, and 2, 0, and 2, 0, 0, 8, and 2, 0. Then, so I can draw the line for this. 0, 0, 8, and 2, 0. Then, so what would be the feasible region now, guys? What would be the feasible region? Can anyone tell me what is the area common between the two lines? Are you able to identify this area? So the area which is common between the 2 points, are you able to identify this area? Okay, everyone. Now, guys, if I ask you the coordinates, what is this coordinate? This is 0, 4. Okay, what is this coordinate? 2, 0. What is this coordinate? This is x, y. How will I find this x, y? By simply solving the two equation. If the two equation I have 4x1 plus 3x2 equal to 12, and the next equation is 4x1 plus x2 equal to 8. I can simply solve these two linear equations. Okay, I can solve simply subtract this, you'll get 2x2 equal to 4. So x2 equal to 2. X2 you will get equal to 2. So if you get x2 equal to 2, so put that in any equation. 4x1 plus x2 equal to 8. So 4x1 plus 2 equal to 8. So 4x1 is equal to 6. So x1 is equal to 3 by 2. Get this value 3 by 2 comma 2. Clear, everyone? So this uh, today morning I was solving. Today morning I was solving 10th board SSLC question paper. I believe you might be aware if you have younger brother or sister in PUC in class 10th. So they are gonna have next week SSLC exam. 19th and 21st is the exam for Karnataka class 10th student. So today morning only 2-3 people came and I was teaching them class 10th. So a lot of questions were there like this, objective type questions. So if you have any younger brother or sister who are in class 10 standard, let me know. I'll make a video and I'll send you those. You can teach them with that. That way it will, should help them. So I believe you understood this, right? This area you can find with that. Right, now going further, the third one is 0, minus 8. The third one is 0, minus 8. Third one is 0, minus 8. Third one is 0, minus 8, and 2, 0, and 2, 0, and 0, minus 8, and 2, 0. This is the region. This is the region 0, minus 8, and 3, 2, 0. and 2 comma 0. So you can think about this line. So if I draw this line, if I draw the line on this, if you draw the line on this, so you can find the region. You can find the region which is lesser than this. So now if you see this, the region, what you can find common between them, this would be your region which is common, because you want all the greater than equal to sign, right? So this would be a feasible region. This is 0 comma 0. So this would be a feasible region. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. So the value what you are getting x1, x2, both should be positive value, no? So the values what you are getting x1, x2 cannot be negative. Okay. So I cannot take the values below this. I cannot take below this. But then x1, x2 will become negative. So my x1, x2 cannot be negative. My x1, x2 cannot be negative. Okay, everyone. So this is my feasible region, which I called as a corner point. My corner point are 0 comma 0. Then it is 2 comma 0. It is 3 by 2 comma 2, and it is 0 comma 4. And my objective function is 3x1 plus 2x2. My objective function is 3x1 plus 2x2. Find the maximum value. So this is 0 only, this would be 6 only, and this would be 3 into 3 by 2 plus 2 into 2. This is 9 by 2 plus 4. This would be 17 by 2. 3 into 0 plus 4 into 2. This would be 8. So 17 by 2 means 8.5. Which is the highest value? The highest value you will get here at this point. This is your coordinates. Here, everyone. So the final value, so your final value will be your x1 is equal to 3 by 2, your x2 is equal to 2, and the maximum value of z you are getting is 17 by 2 or 8.5. Even any doubt? Done, everyone. So guys, this much from the today class. So the same problem I solved it by graphical method also. The same problem I solved it by simplex method also. So this much from the today class. We'll continue our discussion tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. I have another class, so I really request that please. So I'll end this class. Thank you, everyone.